Welcome to Fargo Talks Fargo, an unofficial podcast on the FX television series. Fargo Talks Fargo is hosted by me, Bill, and my buddy Charpie. This season of Fargo Talks Fargo is sponsored by Fargo Brewing Company and their Wood Chipper IPA. Also, today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Tune in and find out how you can get a free trial to Audible.com because it's awesome, and I like listening to books because reading is hard.
Reading sucks.
I shouldn't say that. Reading is great, but Audible makes it really easy to do that. And we'll talk about that later. We'll get to that. So, hey Charpie, how you doing today?
Hey, doing great.
Yeah,
doing really good.
Well,
very excited about the episode 2.
Yeah,
very
I know.
excited.
I know.
So much better than 1 even.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, because we're now on the verge of war. We're just coming. We're climbing up to that mountaintop. We're getting right to the.
Are we getting to? I just was gonna like Guns N' Roses Civil War that for a minute.
What, are you gonna play it?
No. Shit, it's not
what
that.
we have here is failure to communicate.
God, we made it like 5 seconds into this podcast and it derailed into a discussion about Guns N' Roses Civil War.
Those were the days, man.
No, I feel like this week there was I could be right, I could be wrong, but man, I found myself digesting a lot of background things. I felt, and we don't have to, like, this is the hot dish, so
this is the hot dish.
We'll say a little spoilers. We'll give some clues as to some things you and I are probably going to dig into. We're recording what? It's just coming up on 11 p.m. Central Standard Time.
11 p.m. in Fargo.
So the show just ended about 20 minutes ago, but man, did you? I mean, we've been texting a little during the show. I thought there was a lot of Lester Nygaard shit happening.
It seemed like there was a lot of there's a lot of Lester Nygaard, and there were a lot of Fargo the motion picture references, which I was very much welcoming because I thought we were maybe going to be done with those, but we're not. They're still just as prevalent as they were in season 1, which is awesome.
And I don't think there's any problem with that because
no, there's definitely no problem with it. I encourage it. I think it's awesome. I just thought that they might run out of stuff to. I mean, we're talking about. Now we're 12 hours into a series, and they're still able to like pull little tidbits from the motion picture. Yeah,
I like that. So we'll get deep dive on this, but this week's episode was Before the Law, which is of course part of another parable, and it comes from Kafka. So feel free to brush up on that before the next one because we'll do some discussion on that. But I did also catch a throwback to. Or a nod back to The Big Lebowski once or twice. Did I tell you twice?
A couple of them.
Yeah. Once when they used the word Chinaman. Sorry, folks, but it was in there. Because Chinaman is not the preferred nomenclature. And then what was the other one? I sent you a message.
Half and half.
Oh yeah, he's drinking the half.
Brother Gerhardt was drinking some of the half and half, which, as you know, is the dude's one of the ingredients in the dude's drink of choice, the Caucasian.
Yeah. I wonder if he wrote a check for that.
I don't know. I might have told this story on the Grilling Addiction podcast, but when I was like 22, 23 years old, just kind of getting into drinking, and I loved The Big Lebowski, so I ordered Caucasians all the time.
Right.
I don't recommend ordering a Caucasian from an African American bartender.
Probably not.
That does not go well.
Oh, you did tell this story. Yeah, this story makes you sound
totally
douchey.
Not even thinking of it.
Yeah.
Like just ordered my favorite drink at the time.
Yeah.
Things didn't turn out for me too well that night.
Well, I was happy to see some thought being put to your shoe because you were into the shoe last week. That it was going to be. I mean, obviously we all know that that's going to lead to something, But here's
that shoe's the keystone to all those paths converging.
Yeah, I think so. So here's what I guess I'd like to, and you can feel free to shoot me down here. So I'd like to just touch on the things I was just talking about, the Lester Nygaard things that just seem to be like swimming around in this whole scene. So, crap, I should have wrote her name down, but Mrs. Solverson, she's out there playing in the snow with a young Molly. and her coat is blue, like all that water, and there was I didn't catch exactly what was on her coat, but there were little orange parkas of some sort on that, and I just thought, oh, look, I said there's a little Lester there.
It absolutely had to be intentional tie into Lester, because that coat is otherwise just fucking weird.
Yes.
I mean, it is literally little dudes with orange coats on, facing away from the viewer, so they're like facing towards whoever's wearing the jacket.
Yeah. Well, like that scene where Lester's running away from Molly,
right,
at the very end of last season. And the other thing I had mentioned to you too was that, she finds the gun, and Lou comes out and makes kind of a comment about how she's doing his job better than than he is, and it's very, foreshadowing her future of season 1, because he, a woman doing a better job than the man is doing, and it's very similar to Bill and Molly in season 1, in my opinion.
Yep.
Agree, disagree?
Agree.
Okay, put the stamp on that one. But then I can't remember. There was a couple other things I caught.
Another thing you caught was there were fish on the wall in
just the one,
Blomquist.
I think.
Yeah, just one fish.
Just one on the
weird
left
tropical fish on the wall in the Blomquist home.
Yeah, and it was facing the proper direction as well, just like the poster. And then the other thing I mean, this might be my stretch, is that I just called him Todd. Ed. Todd. Well, his name was Todd in Breaking Bad. Jesse Plemons' character, Ed Blomquist, he's kind of in that weird position as well, though. That Lester, like, not, we were talking about Peggy and Ed both being a little Lester-ish, and I thought it was the fact that his truck was orange.
They're like two sides of Lester. Like, Peggy is the side of Lester that is constantly making stupid decisions that bury him into trouble, and Ed is the side of Lester that's somehow getting out of it just in the nick of time.
Not only getting out of it, but able to bury his actual morals to get it done.
Yeah.
For his own benefit of whatever it is Ed is currently seeking.
Yeah, they're definitely like a multiple personality version, or like, I don't even know what you would call that. It's two people that are forming a Lester for us right now.
And the other thing I thought, as a slight, whatever you want to call it, a nod or a whatever, was that the scene with the KC gang, now there's two guys, the twins, or whatever we want to call them. And,
the Wyatt Earp brothers.
But these two are mute.
Tombstone.
Tombstone. They're not deaf like Numbers and Wrench, but this year they're mute. And so it's almost like they're the embodiment of the two people from last year into three, but the two twins split that role 1 and 1 with their middle fingers.
And did you catch their name as Kitchen?
That's what I
thought. Am I hearing things, or is that?
It's.
We should look. We'll look that up for the deep dive, the deep dish.
Yeah, because heaven forbid we just pull up IMDb right now.
Well, it's the hot dish.
We're not. This is. I mean, if people think that we've done some monstrous research before we record these, they're kidding themselves. Because we don't. We just watch it, then we hit record, and then we talk about it. So it is Kitchen. Sorry, I couldn't.
It is
myself.
Kitchen.
It's
okay.
Gail and Wayne.
God damn it! I love Noah Hawley's use of just inanimate objects, or just nouns in general for the
numbers, wrench,
and now kitchen. And kitchen is two people. This is fantastic.
Yes. I did like a bit of the scene as well. Thinking too about Molly and the women being very strong and prevalent. That there's a showdown between mother and son about who's going to run the family business for the Fargo. I don't know, what we assume soon becomes the syndicate.
And we've got some great little pickups on that for the deep dish later on.
Yeah. Any you got any little things
well,
you're gonna?
When we were texting back and forth, I immediately mentioned, like, I don't see how like challah bread would be in a Midwestern home.
Challah?
At that.
Well, that also ties to that also ties back to
challah?
the show title and Germans and Jewish everything. We'll get there.
Did I just butcher that completely?
No, I don't know.
I've always said it that way. That's how few Jewish people I know in Fargo.
Well, yeah. So I don't know. Let's find out how to say that. But that, and she just, did you see like that scene? I thought, oh, see, now I'm going deep dive. I don't want to go deep dive. But that scene over her shoulder, it's like all the bread. And I just keep thinking, she's the real provider.
She is the provider.
You know what I mean? She feeds everybody. So, but yeah, we should get around to that. It's very, I don't know. It's
I'm
a Jewish.
Get so called out on that butchering.
Yeah, but it's a very special braided bread that's it comes from this whole thing in the Bible with like halal, and we'll get there. I'm trying to like restrain myself. But I thought that was great, and I loved. We're skipping all over just because this is the hot dish. I loved the scene in the typewriter store about his Sears coffee maker that sounded like a fat man having a heart attack or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And I just love that he's got that guy's tie in there, and that he just keeps
like typing away.
He keeps typing, he just keeps slamming the thing. Look how old we are. We just slamming the thing, whatever that thing is on a typewriter that advances the paper, the feed. I don't know. There's a lot to. I think there's going to be a lot to unpack from this episode.
So many good things.
Nobody died.
The classic wood chipper reference that was awesome.
Oh, the foot.
The foot in the grinder, that was great.
Oh, and I called it. I said, this gal's going to get all lesby friends with Peggy. Sure enough, she reached out and touched the hair.
She did.
Touched the hair with the freaky, like, borderline back of hand.
It was kind of gnarly.
Yeah, it's going to be something, though.
We had no deaths, no body count, 0 body count, which we anticipated after predictions last week.
Did we? Is that what we said?
Yep.
Gotta quit drinking that beer.
I think I said it. I'm pretty sure we said it.
You're usually right about stuff. I'm just here.
That's not true.
I'm just here to push the
Especially
record.
when it comes to Jewish pronunciations.
Dude, I don't know if I have that right. Maybe I just want to say holla.
And then the 1 hour ahead of the Posse song that was playing while Ed was taking care of Rye Gerhardt, that was great. So I anticipate that being a reference to us seeing Ed converge with a posse of some sort in the next episode.
Anything to be said for the fact that rye is also a type of bread? This is my new thing, not the number 6. All the bread. I need to know what's up with the bread.
He's going to make a fine pate, a loaf of pate.
Yes. It's going to be so
out of
money.
Rye. It's like, this is our special. It's a rye pate.
So gross. Oh. Okay, so let's make it quick before we do that. Let's just plug our 2 sponsors. FargoBrewing.com is where you need to go to find out about Fargo Brewing Company based in Fargo, North Dakota. Here they have all sorts of wonderful craft beer, and their wood chipper IPA is our big thing that we always help push. So, and I can't think of a finer time than this episode to think about a wood chipper and grinding up somebody's foot. Hot dang, doesn't that make you want to drink yourself a cold, frosty IPA? But either way, you should do that. That's our goal. Like right now, we've got a couple things coming from Fargo Brewing that we can tell you about a little later, but right now, the best thing you can do is just try slam their website with some traffic, and they'll be like, look at that bump. Look what Bill and Charpie did. High five.
Yeah.
Whoosh. Here, look. Boom. Just high-fived myself because Charpie's in Colorado. But please go to fargobrewing.com and check them out.
Yeah.
The other sponsor that we have...
Charpie makes their website,
yeah,
then I can be like, look at all this traffic you're getting. You should spend more money on your website.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so each week, too, a couple times a week. If you go to audibletrial.com/FargoTalksFargo and you don't already have an Audible account, and if you do, totally take this book recommendation and run with it. If you don't, you need to sign up. And when you sign up, you will get a free audible.com book to keep, even if you don't continue after your trial. It's yours. So my recommendation is I'm going to move away a little bit from the geek stuff, and I'm a big Anthony Bourdain fan, and I think that reading his books... Do I keep stealing your picks? I think reading his stuff is
We are not talking
fun.
to each other about books anymore because all of our books end up just being the same.
Really?
Continue.
Well, I've got a couple other ones picked out. So maybe here's the deal, Charpie. I'll tell you what. We'll compile a list so nobody's stepping on anybody's stuff. But I'll say this. Hearing Anthony Bourdain, I mean, if you've ever watched No Reservation, or any of his other TV shows, The Layover, seriously, when I die, I told my wife not long ago that I want Anthony Bourdain to read my obituary at my funeral, that at least 3 people will attend. But you need to go out and get Kitchen Confidential. And it's an older book of his, but it is so awesome to hear about how he cut his teeth and got to where he is and all the stuff that went on and all the places he worked in the background. So
look,
if you like
there's a good chance you've already read Kitchen Confidential. It's been out forever, and it's very popular. It's a quick read, and I'm sure you've read it before. And if you have, even if you have, it's worth listening to the audiobook.
Right.
It's worth listening to him read it.
Yes.
Because it just comes across miles differently.
Nobody says the word mise en place like he does. But yeah, the release date on that is like 2001, and it's 8 hours. So if you're a commuter, which is why Audible's great, go get that and check it out. He's got other books, but start there. If you haven't done it, or if you've already read it, go check out Kitchen Confidential, Adventures in the Culinary Underbelly. So there you go. There's our 2 plugs for Fargo Brewing Company and Audible.com. So go to audibletrial.com/FargoTalksFargo, and if you sign up, you'll be totally helping out the show. Otherwise, go to Fargo Brewing as well. So Charpie, we made it through without a death. You got any? We don't have to go super crazy on this, but you'd mentioned something that you think a couple of those things have to come to a head by the next episode, because we're already in episode 3, right? So,
sure.
Tell me real quick about that, because you said you think the Shoe and the Kansas City crew and those guys and Ed are gonna have to meet up mighty quick.
Well, I think Ed's going to have to meet up with a posse of some sort, and that posse will either be, I think it's going to be the Gerhardts, or the Kansas City crew. It's one of those two. It's one posse. I don't know which one it's going to be. I'm going to go with the Gerhardts since he's a little bit closer related to those guys.
Yeah.
So that's going to converge next episode for sure.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that. And then Hank's probably going to get connected with the Gerhardts pretty quick too because of that shoe.
I was so worried he was going to get smoked tonight.
I was actually hoping we were going to have a 0 body count during that last scene, because I was very nervous because Ted Danson, he's a little bit of one of the higher profile, in my opinion, actors, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got offed right away.
I don't want it.
In lieu of Kieran Culkin. I mean, I was really excited about Kieran Culkin, and he's not like a huge, big name actor by any means, but everybody kind of knows him.
Oh yeah,
and he was fun to have around. And then just like that, he was gone. So I was worried that was going to happen to us again with Hank Larson, Ted Danson's character. I don't doubt that will inevitably happen somewhere midway through the show. He's going to go down.
That has to be something that helps shape future Lou.
Yep, exactly.
I just don't.
That's probably what makes him so disturbed about
a little bit
all the the Sioux Falls references from season 1.
Well, I can't wait for us to dig into all this and more on our full episode recap that we'll record Wednesday night and release right away late that night. So we hope that's working out for you guys. I know it's pushing us off by another day or two, but we'll get there. We always do. And we didn't even talk about the Indians. There's something going on with Indian stuff too. There was the Sioux massacre I told you about, and then there's the statue of the Indian in the meat shop. There's the sidekick, like helper Indian guy with the Gerhardt crew, and then if you notice off to the left-hand side of the Waffle Hut, there's some sort of Indian advertisement painted on the barn.
Well, they are, native to the land.
Well, I understand that. I'm
they
just
do
saying.
Exist, Bill.
I know. I'm just saying. There's something to that. I think somewhere, but I don't know. I'd say this hot
That's
dish
like
is,
walking into a forest and being like, "Look at all these oak trees.
Oh, look at the trees. Look at they got leaves
There's
and shit."
definitely something up with oak trees.
God,
some sort of symbolism
you're a dick.
going on.
So, other than that, the only other thing I can say is for shameless plugging, if you're enjoying this show, or if you're not, I guess, feel free to hit us up on Twitter at Fargo Talks Fargo or Facebook /Fargo Talks Fargo. And if you're downloading us via iTunes, please give us a star rating or a review. We would love to get some more feedback from people. Yeah. So, other than that,
only
I'd say
give us a review, though, if you like the show.
Oh, I don't know. People can do whatever they want. Man, this is America.
Always room for improvement, I guess.
So, Charpie, I'd say this hot dish is cooked.
Hot dish is done, man.
All right. Till the next night. We'll see you folks then.
All right. Peace out.